Welcome, everyone. We've had a terrific week in the course. A lot of great activity happening in Unit 4. A lot of people still joining the course, which is terrific. Some folks saying that they were out of pocket for a little while, but able to join us now. And I get these little notifications from the introduction discussion just about every day. So it's great to have more people filling in. And if you're joining us late, we're thrilled to have you here and looking forward to helping you catch up. Some great work being done and reflection in the left-hand column case activity. This work around working together through ups and downs is incredibly important in this innovation work. And relationships are really so central to it. You know, Beth Thompson from Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools talks about how the relationship that you have with people when you go into conversations really matters. When people really know you care about them, they're more likely to engage in dialogue around solutions and moving the work forward, which totally resonates with my experience. Maria Montero from Mater Academy talked about how doing the activity of the left-hand column case helped her stop and think about her own responses when meeting with teachers and thinking about how they'll react based on what I say, and how the activity can help us be more conscientious. And that certainly has been the case in the communities that I've done this work with. Doing it in person in groups is actually, a lot of people really enjoy it. They find it sort of therapeutic to write out a conversation they had that was challenging and then talk it out with someone else. And what's great about it is when you have a whole community of people do this together, it just becomes natural for everyone to start thinking, oh, am I being, what kinds of assumptions am I making right now? What do I think this person is thinking? Maybe I should just ask them. And I can clarify that, and we can have some more frank and concrete dialogue with one another. Also, a lot of great work happening on the action plans in Part 1 and Part 2. Ashley Cossey from Fort Bend ISD down in Texas, talking about really kind of trying to play on two fields at once. How do we meet the expectations established by those outside the district and engage students on another level inside of the campus? Believe it, our teachers have to see it's possible, so having them lead the change on campus is crucial. The teachers are where the rubber hits the road, and that's what I want to do as we start thinking about the shift towards Monday. That theme of playing on two playing fields at once, trying to meet external expectations around assessments and accountability and all kinds of things, but really doing what we think also is best for kids, I think is a tension that lots of educators really feel. Lots of great work. Janice Houston from Irvine, Texas, Irvine ISD, talks about sort of building stamina for teachers and students, really thinking about how they can build their capacity to have faith that all their students can really achieve. I believe that every student can learn, and sometimes we as educators don't always truly believe what we say. The results in allowing students to opt out before they have a chance to taste success. Because my Monday is in midsummer in anticipation of the upcoming school year, it gives me room to plan and be very intentional about several steps when school starts, trying to give more ownership to their students. Angela Smyers, also in Irving, talking about giving students choice and voice and how they show what they know. Having her trying to work with faculty to say that we don't want teachers to say I want 5 slides and this many steps and these kinds of things, projects that are built around compliance, but really letting students have some choices about how they express themselves and how they describe what they know and are able to do. So it's great to see these action plans evolve. What we're going to be doing in the next unit, Unit 5, is really thinking about how we measure progress and move forward. So in the schools in this country that are the most effective, that have seen the most growth, particularly around technology, sort of taking the most advantage of new technologies, one of the things those schools end up being really good at is continuous improvement in trying things and then being really systematic about evaluating, being disciplined about evaluating. Is this actually working? We set out to try to have our school be more awesome in this way, and we leverage technology and we leverage this professional learning to make that happen. Are we actually seeing those improvements? Are we actually seeing the changes in student work? In lots of parts of the education system, assessment can feel like it's weaponized against educators, particularly we might make a distinction between evaluation and assessment, where assessment is just trying to figure out where you are, and evaluation is placing a judgment on top of that. There are lots of circumstances where we can do without the judgment. It's very, very hard to get better. It's very, very hard to see improvement in teaching and almost any other sector of society if we can't assess how well we're doing, if we can't chart and measure our progress. So what we're going to work on in this unit is trying to bring a discipline, a regularity, a commitment for these different, for these different action steps that you're taking, for these high leverage initiatives, which you're imagining can have a really substantial impact on moving towards your goals. Can we challenge you, and can you hold yourself accountable to trying to make some meaningful efforts to measure whether or not you're making progress towards your goals? And none of this requires special technical knowledge. None of it requires really anything more than disciplined common sense. As I've worked, and as our colleagues at EdTech Teacher have worked in schools around the country and around the world that have done big investments in technology, big one-to-one initiatives, one of the most common missing pieces is any kind of systematic assessment. It's incredibly common for people to have these huge infusions of technology and sometimes really thoughtful plans about what they're trying to do with it, and then not really taking the steps to say, okay, we thought that this could enhance student voice and choice. We thought that this could hold ourselves accountable to helping all students achieve. Are we actually doing that? So that's what I hope that you have a chance to reflect on this week in this unit, is what kinds of tools and what kinds of disciplined common sense can you use to evaluate whether or not you're making progress towards the goals that you've set. Thanks for all your enthusiastic work in the course, and we hope we have another great week.